Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband,
Wife!
do you remember what happened yesterday and where the hell we are today?
Well, yesterday we read Ezekiel chapter 39.
Sure as fuck did.
And in that chapter, we were still talking about Gog and Magog and Gog of Magog and all the Gogs. And
it was a bit Gog heavy.
It was goggy. Yeah, it was very goggy. But God was like, I'm going to bring them against you, Israel, and I'm going to make them do this thing. And then I'm going to kill them all. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to kill the coastland people because that's my thing. I like to kill people. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so he was going to bury them all in like a really big pit. And by the numbers he was talking about, I would think that we would still be able to find this pit today, probably.
The Dry Bones Valley?
The Dry Bones Valley thing. No, it wasn't the Dry Bones was where the zombies, the Israelites were coming back.
Right,
and that was just a vision that was it was a metaphor as to the, people coming back from Israel or whatever.
You're right. I just wanted to say Valley of Dry Bones.
Yeah, no. This was they buried them in Haman Gog.
Okay.
And it was another place where they buried a bunch of lot of dead people that God supposedly killed.
Okay.
And by the numbers he was talking about, you would think there'd still be, things that people would know about it today.
You would think.
Even thousands of years ago, the amount of people he killed, should still have made it through the times. Is like, hey, there's like hundreds of thousands of people dead over here in this pit.
Lots of buried bones.
They had to excavate an entire fucking mountainside just to bury these fucks.
Yeah.
Remember that Twinkie mountain I was talking about? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that was Ezekiel chapter 39.
Yes.
Which means that today we're getting into
Ezekiel chapter 40.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are hopping into Ezekiel chapter 40, or as I like to call him, Ezekiel.
Yes, which you stole from me, because, not the Ezekiel. You stole my saying that it was Ezekiel.
Well, yeah, because you kept correcting me, and that I cannot stand for that.
Okay.
That will not stand.
So instead, you correct yourself now.
No, I just made it into this is what it's called, or as I like to call it.
Got it.
See?
Got it.
Yeah, no, okay. I owned it. That's all.
Okay.
I took it away from you.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Ezekiel chapter 40.
Yes.
Which I have to go into some notes before we start here.
Okay. Yeah.
So this final section, chapters 40.
Final section.
Of Ezekiel, chapters 40 through 48.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are referred to as the Torah of Ezekiel.
Okay.
And they're composed of Ezekiel's vision of a future temple.
Oh. Okay.
And
that's interesting.
So part of it is he's going to be giving some measurements.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not.
My God.
So we're going to get there.
What, he fucking Ezekiel read whatever book that was back in the day. It was, I don't know, Leviticus or something like that,
Yeah,
where
something
we were
like
reading
that.
the measurements of the first temple, and he was like, if there's something that's missing from today's Bible, it's
Well,
measurements for a temple.
Here's what happened. It's
Yeah.
thought that no model of Solomon's temple had remained, and so to direct them in the dimensions, parts, order, and rules of the new temple,
Yeah.
he was granting these instructions.
So this is like God dictating the instructions for the new temple through
Yeah.
Ezekiel, since there were no previous instructions left over from Solomon.
Yes, and that's one reason why Ezekiel might have been so particular in the description of that, is to try to make it like the old one.
Right.
Okay.
It couldn't have been to solidify his place as a very important prophet.
Right.
That couldn't have been the case,
No,
right?
not at all.
No. I mean, if God's dictating the plans to the fucking new temple to you, you obviously are very important to that person, that thing,
Well,
that entity.
One thing that's interesting is that the original instructions included all of these like decor,
Yeah.
like the pomegranates and the gold and whatnot.
Right.
Ezekiel's lacks all that, is inferior in magnificence on account of the poverty of the nation at the time.
Huh.
So it doesn't include all the pretty parts.
Well, that's interesting, because God's really hung up on his image, and you would think, regardless of their poverty or not, he'd be like, he'd insist on having the best, most awesome temple on the planet. But no,
he knew his people didn't have all that.
All right.
Either that or the people just didn't have all that.
Yeah. That's probably, I would imagine they'd
Closer to the
have a
truth.
hard time getting the plans past the city planner if they didn't have enough funds to cover it. So,
Right. And they were in no position, having just come out of exile, to, go raid somebody else for the gold. So not happening.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to read the first little verse here and then go back to my notes to give you a date.
Okay. Sure.
So Ezekiel chapter 40. In the 25th year of our exile, at the beginning of the year, on the 10th of the month, in the 14th year after the fall of the city, on that very day, the hand of the Lord was on me, and he took me there.
Took you there. Where's there?
I'll get there in a minute. Okay. So this date corresponds to about April 28th, 573 BCE.
Okay.
According to the Talmud, this date falls on the Day of Atonement, which is Yom Kippur.
Okay.
And marks the start of the 17th and last Jubilee year in history.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
okay.
He did date it to where it would fall on a Jubilee year, but according to the Talmud, it was the last one in
So
history.
they didn't celebrate it after this.
Apparently.
That's interesting, because that was a very important aspect of the earlier Jewish people, when they were, these things that they celebrated and were important to them, because that was like a renewing of their commitments and everything.
Right.
And so that's interesting.
Yep.
I would have imagined that they still, at some level, celebrated Jubilee today, but I guess that's not correct.
I guess not. I don't know.
Interesting.
Now, where he took them is, or where God took Ezekiel in a vision, was to Israel.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, anyway, back to reading. In visions of God, he took me to the land of Israel and set me on a very high mountain, on whose south side were some buildings that looked like a city.
Okay.
He took me there, and I saw a man whose appearance was like bronze. He was standing in the gateway with a linen cord and a measuring rod in his hand. The man said to me, "Son of man,
You mere human.
you fucking worm."
The man, this has got to be God, right? Hypothetically.
A bronze dude, gotta be God. Or
Right,
an
yeah.
angel of the Lord.
Well, and based on what he's saying things that God would say to Ezekiel. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Look carefully and listen closely and pay attention to everything I'm going to show you. This is the bronze man speaking to
Right,
Ezekiel,
right.
according to Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Pay attention to everything I'm going to show you, for that is why you have been brought here. Tell the people of Israel everything you see. So that's what he's doing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a wall completely surrounding the temple area. The length of the measuring rod in the man's hand was 6 long cubits, each of which was a cubit and a hand breadth.
It's interesting that they're using cubits here. When we read the flood story, they were using feet in place of cubits, because they use cubits in other Bible translations for the measurement of the ark. So it's really interesting that they went back to cubits here.
You're talking about the translation. It's interesting that the translation is using cubits.
Yes, because in the same book that we're reading the same version right now, and they're saying cubits, whereas when we read Noah, the flood story before, they said
translation.
Feet. The translation said feet.
Sorry, you were using pronouns, and so I wasn't sure what you were referring to.
Got it. Yeah. No, the flood story that we read earlier when we were doing this Bible read through, they used feet to describe
the translation.
The translation used feet to describe the measurements of the ark, which in other translations, those measurements were done in cubits, because that's how I knew what a cubit was. I specifically remember this. And now that we're in Ezekiel, we're using cubits as opposed to feet in the same book.
In the same translation.
Yeah. So that's interesting to me. That's all.
From a translation
perspective, yeah. You would think they'd be consistent with regard to how they did measurements, I guess. That's all.
I don't recall, so...
Real quick, I just did... I wanted to toss in here real quick with regard to Jubilee. It is not something that they still... I did a quick search, so it's not something they still celebrate as a culture right now, or anymore. Maybe, and this probably may have been the last one, possibly.
Okay.
But a lot of the reasons are practical, modern reasons, which is kind of funny, due to the practices that were in that thing, in that practice was forgiving debt and land redistribution, which those things tend not to fly when people are greedy. So,
we will not let you give up land. So, no, you will not do that.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's a very disingenuous reason to get rid of a practice like that. You know, it was actually a very good practice to probably adhere to, I would imagine. It's in some regards,
sure.
You know, but yeah, it's gone now because debt collectors want their money.
Right.
Yeah, you can't get away from that now.
Nope, not a bit.
Yeah.
So with regard to cubits, that's the part of the elbow to the wrist.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was the elbow to the tip of the finger, the tip of your middle finger.
I believe it's to the wrist and the palm of the hand, and then a hand breadth is the span of the hand through the extended middle finger.
Okay, a hand breadth?
Yeah.
What is it called? Hand
breadth.
Got it. Okay.
Because he said it was 6 cubits, each of which was a cubit and a hand breadth.
Okay, so a cubit is from the elbow to the tip of the middle finger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Just wanted to I thought that was the case, but I wasn't. When you said that, I
read
was
it wrong
what?
Then.
Okay.
I apologize. And then, the hand breadth then is just almost like half of a cubit then.
Right. Yeah, it's probably just a smaller measurement to measure smaller spaces and stuff. So
anyway, he measured the wall. It was 1 measuring rod thick and 1 rod high.
Okay, so they had measuring rods. Okay, got it.
Then he went to the east gate. He climbed its steps and measured the threshold of the gate. It was 1 rod deep. The alcoves for the guards were 1 rod long and 1 rod wide, and the projecting walls between the alcoves were 5 cubits thick. And the threshold of the gate next to the portico facing the temple was 1 rod deep. Then he measured the portico of the gateway. It was 8 cubits deep, and its jambs were 2 cubits thick.
Okay. This is boring.
I'm so sorry. The portico, which I do like the word portico.
Yeah,
portico.
Yeah.
And they also, some translations use the word vestibule.
Okay.
Which I like that word as well.
Sure.
The portico of the gateway faced the temple. Inside the east gate were 3 alcoves on each side. The 3 had the same measurements, and the faces of the projecting walls on each side had the same measurements. Like, I cannot picture this in any way whatsoever. It's too much. It's too many.
Yeah.
You know? But there are maps that you can find online if you Google.
Right.
If you are curious what the fuck this all comes to.
Yeah.
Then he measured the width of the entrance of the gateway. It was 10 cubits, and its length was 13 cubits. In front of each alcove was a wall 1 cubit high, and the alcoves were 6 cubits square.
Okay.
Then he measured the gateway from the top of the rear wall of one alcove to the top of the opposite one. The distance was 25 cubits from one parapet opening to the opposite one.
Got it. Okay.
I just can't care. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's really fucking boring. That's for sure.
He measured along the faces of the projecting walls all around the inside of the gateway, 60 cubits. The measure was up to the portico facing the courtyard. The measurement was up to the portico facing the courtyard.
Okay.
The distance from the entrance of the gateway to the far end of its portico was 50 cubits. Oh, I see you pulled up a picture.
I pulled up something that somebody says is what it might look like, I guess. So, yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
It's pretty.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
The alcoves and the projecting walls inside the gateway were surmounted by narrow parapet openings all around, as was the portico. The openings all around faced inward. I am probably going to speed up just to get through the measurements because I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I'm
Right, yeah.
The faces of the projecting walls were decorated with palm trees. Then he brought me into the outer court. There I saw some rooms and a pavement that had been constructed all around the court. There were 30 rooms along the pavement.
Wow.
It abutted the sides of the gateways and was as wide as they were long. This was the lower pavement.
Okay.
Then he measured the distance from the inside of the lower gateway to the outside of the inner court. It was 100 cubits on the east side as well as on the north.
Okay.
Then he measured the length and width of the north gate leading into the outer court. I just can't.
No, I mean, look, the only reason I can see that this might be something that's in the Bible is because it's showing that Ezekiel is prominent enough to receive the instructions to build the new,
right.
The
new Jerusalem temple.
Right?
Yeah.
But other than that, with regard to leaving it in there for modern Bible readers, it really has no significance at all to anybody at this point, because it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I could see apologists saying, oh, it does matter, though. It's giving us that detail. It's so rich in detail, and that lends to its authenticity and to show how God was in every single detail and blah, blah, blah. Like, I can see them being very excited about the most boring little detail. Yeah. Because
if God really wanted to prove his significance and his power, he'd just snap his fingers and create a fucking temple, wouldn't he?
I mean,
that would be a lot more believable as a power move than having them build it.
Yes, but, and I'm going to push back on that a little bit because the people would not respect as much something that just appeared before them as opposed to something that they built themselves.
Right, but except for the fact that they haven't actually seen specifically any of God's handiwork directly, right? No, it's all said through Ezekiel or Jeremiah or Isaiah or whoever, right? These are the people that are telling them that God's miraculously doing these things by sending armies against them and whatever he's doing.
No, I totally agree with you on that. I'm just saying, it would be cool for them to see something of God's miracles.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you there. Its alcoves, 3 on each side, its projecting walls, and its portico had the same measurements as those of the first gateway. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide.
Maybe he could just make like a bathroom miraculously appear.
Oh my God.
They'll let them do the whole thing, but he makes one of the bathrooms or something. Snaps his fingers, there's the bathroom.
Or maybe they finish doing all the work and then he pretties it up.
Yeah.
Since, they're a poor
Make
nation.
him do it. I mean, just do something. Like, it's your house, dude. Like, we're building this for you.
That's true.
Like, just add a little personal flair to it.
We just want some gold pomegranates like we used to have.
Yeah, just, you're God, man.
Yeah.
Do something.
Its openings, its portico, and its palm tree decorations had the same measurements as those of the gate facing east. 7 steps led up to it with its portico opposite them. There was a gate on the inner court facing the north gate, just as there was on the east.
Okay.
He measured from one gate to the opposite one. It was 100 cubits. Then he led me to the south side, and I saw the south gate. He measured its jamb and its portico, and they had the same measurements as the others. The gateway and its portico had narrow openings all around, like the openings of the others. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. 7 steps led up to it with its portico opposite them. It had palm tree decorations on the faces of the projecting walls on each side.
Okay. Yeah.
Love me some palm tree decorations.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
The inner court also had a gate facing south, and he measured from this gate to the outer gate on the south side. It was 100 cubits. Then he brought me into the inner court through the south gate, and he measured the south gate. It had the same measurements as the others. Its alcoves, its projecting walls, and its portico had the same measurements as the others.
I'm shocked. The
gateway and its portico had openings all around. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide.
This is a really, bad way to end Ezekiel. We had zombies. We had
the dry bone valley.
Angels with hundreds of eyeballs.
And wheels and chariots and stuff.
And now we're building a damn temple.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yep.
And you know what? They're not this is 25 years into the exile, right? So hypothetically, we're not even going to get to this for another 40 or 50 years.
Right.
So why is he dictating the plans now? You should wait till later and then give it to somebody that's going to be around at that point. I'm just saying that would make more sense. So
I can't answer that for you.
Yeah.
I'm not God.
No, I know.
Who knows his ways? They are mysterious.
I'm beginning to believe that nobody does. That's my.
The porticos of the gateways around the inner court were 25 cubits wide and 5 cubits deep.
Mm-hmm.
Its portico faced the outer court. Palm trees decorated its jambs, and 8 steps led up to it. What I'm really upset about is that one of those sentences was in parentheses, and I was so bored.
You forgot about
I forgot to do parentheses voice.
Yeah, that's sad. That is sad.
I can't bring myself to go back and read it in
it's
parentheses
just fucking
voice
plans.
because it was just measurements.
Everybody just imagine that wife just did a parentheses voice, and we'll move along.
Here, I'll do a parentheses voice that's not in parentheses.
Okay, all right, yeah.
This is not parentheses.
There you go. Now we got some parentheses voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he brought me to the inner court on the east side, and he measured the gateway. It had the same measurements as the others.
No way.
Its alcoves, its projecting walls, and its portico had the same measurements as the others.
Unbelievable.
The gateway and its portico had openings all around. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. Its portico faced the outer court. Palm trees decorated the jambs on either side, and 8 steps led up to it. The other ones had only 7.
No, the ones on the inside or whatever. There was one. There was one with 8 already too.
Okay.
Yeah. This would be a good time to remind everybody that I realize that this is really fucking boring, right?
Yeah.
But if you're one of the fans, then I know you're out there. I know. There's a lot of you out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're one of those that is just here to read the whole Bible with us.
That's what we're doing. We're just getting through it.
That's what we're doing.
We're reading every word.
We're doing the best we can here with what we got, and what we got is a bunch of shit in this chapter. So I don't know what else to say about it other than we'll get through this eventually.
We'll get through this together, guys. Keep going. Then he brought me to the north gate and measured it. It had the same measurements as the others, as did the alcoves, its projecting walls, and its portico, and it had openings all around. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. Its portico faced the outer court. Palm trees decorated the jambs on either side, and 8 steps led up to it.
Okay.
A room with a doorway was by the portico in each of the inner gateways where the burnt offerings were washed.
Ah.
That's fun.
Okay, yeah.
Got me some burnt offerings up in this bitch.
Right.
In the portico of the gateway were 2 tables on each side on which the burnt offerings, sin offerings, and guilt offerings were slaughtered. By the outside wall of the portico of the gateway, near the steps at the entrance of the north gateway, were 2 tables, and on the other side of the steps were 2 tables. So, there were 4 tables on one side of the gateway and 4 on the other, 8 tables in all, on which the sacrifices were slaughtered.
Okay.
I love the word slaughter.
Yeah.
There were also 4 tables of dressed stone for the burnt offerings, each a cubit and a half long, a cubit and a half wide, and a cubit high.
It is interesting to me how they're referring this as in the past tense. There were, there are, there. Those are. We're talking about this in a time frame.
He's seeing a vision though, so he's like, I'm describing what I saw in my vision.
So God's not only taking him to Jerusalem, he's taking him forward in time even.
Yeah.
He's time traveling in his vision as well as traveling distances across, the land.
Yeah.
In his visions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, that's why he told, God told Ezekiel, tell the people what you saw. And so he's saying, this is what I saw. I saw this, and it measured that, and then it measured that way. So, yeah, it would be in past tense.
Got it. Okay.
So,
all right.
It tracks.
Yeah, no, I guess I just mostly find it interesting that God is time traveling with his prophets. That's all.
Why not?
At least in visions,
Sure. It it totally makes sense.
It doesn't, but okay.
I love a time-traveling prophet.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
On them were placed the utensils for slaughtering the burnt offerings and the other sacrifices, and double-pronged hooks, each a handbreadth long, were attached to the walls all around. The tables were for the flesh of the offerings. Outside the inner gate, within the inner court, were 2 rooms. One at the side of the north gate and facing south, and another at the side of the south gate and facing north.
Okay.
He said to me, "The room facing south is for the priests who guard the temple, and the room facing north is for the priests who guard the altar. These are the sons of Zadok, who are the only Levites who may draw near to the Lord to minister before him." Then he measured the court. It was square, 100 cubits long and 100 cubits wide, and the altar was in front of the temple. And he brought me to the portico of the temple and measured the jambs of the portico. They were 5 cubits wide on either side. The width of the entrance was 14 cubits, and its projecting walls were 3 cubits wide on either side. The portico was 20 cubits wide and 12 cubits from front to back. It was reached by a flight of stairs, and there were pillars on each side of the jambs. The end.
You know, do you remember that, wasn't it, I forget what book it was in, but we talked about at some point how stairs leading up to the temples was a bad thing.
Yeah, that was at the beginning, because then you'd see up their dresses.
Right. And now in this new temple, God is literally dictating that they make stairs to go up to the temple. Stairs. Do you think that this means that they've invented underwear since then?
Probably.
I mean, I just can't think of any other reason as to why it would be okay to have stairs now versus then, unless maybe this temple is now only exclusively for men or something along those lines, possibly. But it is weird that the direction of the earlier Bible is directly conflicting with the way that they built this one with regard to the stairs.
That is true. I forgot about that till you mentioned it, but yeah, I remember it now. Right. Stairs good, stairs bad.
Right. Yeah. I just find that odd.
We have stairs leading up to our front porch.
We sure do. And
we have stairs leading to our back porch.
Yes, we have that as well. So I really have nothing else to add with regard to this chapter. That was Ezekiel chapter 40.
It was
very, very anticlimactic end to the week. Yeah. And I apologize for that.
We can't take responsibility for what's in the Bible.
Right. No, definitely not. Yeah. But we will be back tomorrow's Saturday. We'll be back with our
Q&A Saturday.
And we still have yet to get a
Patreon.
Yes, so we will get that out this weekend, hypothetically.
I'm working on it.
As well.
I'm working on it, guys.
And then I will get our weekly wrap-up together and put out, and then we'll be back on Monday with
Ezekiel chapter 41.
All right, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.